So there was once some guy, this guy, and this guy was pretty bummed out because he had just received a super duper legit looking email from PayPal asking him to update his account information. But the email wasn't sent from PayPal, nope, it was sent from this phisher who was spoofing the PayPal domain to trick people into giving him their login credentials. Also happened to this guy, and her too. And all these victims of the phishing abuse got pretty dang angry, but all they could do was mark the messages with spam complaints, which totally damaged the sending reputation of the actual PayPal domain, which just isn't fair. To think, this all could have been avoided with the help of a little cute duck. Email is, well, it's something, but the one thing it doesn't have to be is confusing. And the same goes for an email standard called DMARC, short stack for Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance. Whew. DMARC is an authentication standard that prevents devious spammers and phishers from using your domain to send spammy email without your permission, also known as spoofing, like in the PayPal example at the start of this video. DMARC does this with the help of two other email authentication standards, DKIM and SPF. Not sure how DKIM and SPF work? Not to worry, my email interested friend. Click the SPF link in the description below to learn a bit more about how SPF Kitty helps detect forged sender addresses. And click the DKIM link in the description if you're interested in learning how DKIM Puppy uses some fancy math to verify that the body of an email was not altered during transit. We'll just take a quick intermission here while you get your email education on. Alright, welcome back! Now that you understand DKIM and SPF, you'll better understand how DMARC itself works. Essentially, your domain's DMARC record tells an inbox provider that as long as DKIM or SPF passes, it should consider the message as legitimate. But if both DKIM and SPF fail, or just aren't present, the inbox provider should consider the messages as super sneaky and suspicious. In that case, there are then 3 different DMARC policies that you can use to tell the inbox provider what to do with the message when it fails. The first policy is the approve or monitor policy. The recipient inbox provider is to behave normally and deliver the email onto the inbox even if the email fails DMARC. Then there's also the quarantine policy, which tells the receiver to treat the message as suspicious and deliver it to the spam folder. And finally, the reject policy, where the receiver is to drop the message and not deliver it to the recipient at all. Where these drop messages go exactly, no one is quite sure, but some believe there's an email black hole at the center of the internet where all such emails go to turn into some digital dust. This DMARC policy process is easily seen here while birdwatching some DMARC ducks. Watch as they help protect domain reputation by telling the receiving mail server how to filter emails to the correct location based on the sender's DMARC policy. Messages that pass DMARC are tossed into the inbox, while those that fail DMARC are honked on over to the spam filter or even dropped into the dreaded email black hole. You can specify what DMARC policy your domain and even its subdomain should use within the DMARC record itself, which you can set up in your domain's DNS settings. While the record itself is simple enough, managing the record is a complex, multi-step process that takes quite a bit of time and attention to use correctly, but we've got you covered. Click the DMARC link in the description below to learn a bit more about how to set up and manage a DMARC record for your own use case. Not only does DMARC help prevent your messages from being spoofed, but it also allows inbox providers to send you daily DMARC reports. These reports list the emails they received from your domain, and they specify whether or not the emails align with your domain's DMARC policy. The problem with these reports is that they are provided in the XML format, which is a bit, what's the word? Well, the reports are a bit like an ugly duckling. Beautiful on the inside, just not so much on the outside. But just like the ugly duckling, these XML reports have the potential to transform into an elegant swan of information. Using a dedicated DMARC tool, say like the beautifully purple DMARC Digests app, link in the description below, those Uggo XML reports are turned into majestic, readable reports where you can easily review your sending sources and understand whether your messages are passing or failing DMARC. In a nutshell, DMARC is an incredibly powerful email standard that prevents spammers from using your domain without your permission. It also helps you monitor your sending sources and understand whether your emails are aligning with their DMARC policy. The benefits of DMARC takes a bit more time and management than other authentication standards. With some patience and effort, DMARC can help your domain reputation transform into a thing of beauty. Oh my goodness. Email is a lot of things, but whatever it is, Postmark's got it covered. Wait, so is it DMARC Swan then? DMARC Duck? Ugh, this analogy's falling apart.